which we are already in LinkedIn platform also, where you can connect us and you can see all the product things. So, coming back, what exactly industry is demanding? Industry is changing day by day, month on month. After especially Corona, you can see that everything is becoming on the integration side. Every product is building in the industry. They are asking for the integration, and of course, coming with the AI platform, you can say. So, all the touchless access, all the things. I'm just reading it out for you. Shift to electromechanical, not mechanical. Everybody wants electromechanical, which is controlled and monitored, integrated and connected components. So even in the lock also, and door control also, door control, door closer also has to be connected with the BMS. That is the expectation which is coming on the smart offices. And of course, mobile and biometric authentication is the best control and convenience part. Not only the card, but the people are talking about mobile. Everything we want on mobile. Access as is, this is a facility now. Access is no more technical one. This is a facility. This is the control and convenience in your hand, and of course merge of access and flow. So when you are talking about different buildings, different accesses, different flow, what what happens at airport, what happens at your home, what happens at hotel lobby, and everything that is we call as access and flow. So yes, we have studied barrier systems, which is the perimeter of the building, any office, any industry, any airports, any home, whatever you say, where there is a perimeter, we are there from the home barrier sides. We have home barrier with RFID tags, and of course, it's weatherproof, robust, elegant, and simple access solution, which can be integrated with access control. Touch-free access to entrance of the buildings. So you can see any building and any lobby, which is very important for all of the offices, or you can say any commercial complex or any malls, any project, any business. So we are there with the automatic operators, sliding or swing, whatever is possible. As per your structures, we can actually give you the solutions. Whether it is 60% you require, 50% you require, 95% you require, there is slide and fold, everything which is available from 80 kg to 1000 kg door capacity. Next. So yes, we have revolving doors also, which is a new norm after the corona. You can see where you want to have the social distancing. So with use of revolving doors, not only the throughput, you can control the throughput, also you can control the social distancing also. And this is a new norm. I want to just show you one small video after this where you can see we don't have any motor now inside the revolving doors. These are all super direct drive technology, which is magnetic levitation and simple but very nice and superior. Next slide. Just please. So this is basically a live photo of the revolving door. You can see that there is a LED light with the top. So this is actually the drive, private drive. There's nothing on the ground. It's only the pivot and it's running. And the throughput and access control you can give there. You can see that. So this is just a live video for you guys so that you can see that very simplistic. There is nothing very rigid and all very sleek, completely frameless. Yes, the important parts is now what you are seeing in the industry. There are all very hardwares are available from the basic side, but we are coming with a new electrified hardwares. When I say that industry changing, so all the components which are coming in the doors and entrances, you want everything to be controlled and monitored. So you have to use this electrified hardware where we are special, SFP lock, panic locks. We have even the roller shutters lock where you can have the access control locks, double or single leaf, cobalt lock. We have electric strikes, delayed access mechanism, touchless switches, EM locks, panic bar, which is electrified one, door closer, best door closer, barrier free with very less Newton force. And of course, we have anti-panic locks and electric strikes and new accessories which is introduced with the EM protocol. Next. So, this allows me one opportunity to showcase you the video of Cobalt lock, which is the high security lock. These are durable, yes, of course, monitored, fire tested, and yes, of course, we have a demo also. You can just come to the corner after this session and you can see this physical lock. I just want to play this video. Please, there's a video, you can just play that. Sorry, why is it put it here? Purposely, this is basically the lock combination, how it looks like. This is a single leaf lock with electrified. This is called SL30 double and SL30 single. So there is a single deadbolt and there's a double deadbolt. Depending on the security, you can use it. So any door, if it is any fire rated door, non-fire rated door, single action, double action. In fact, if there is any alignment issue with the door, that also this lock will, resolve the issue. Basically, the bolting happens like this, which is a double bolting. This is very safe, tested on 5,000 load, and it's simple with area. Emergency door release, you can open the door and use this lock. This lock can be used vertically as well as horizontally on the top, on the bottom, or on mortise side also. The beauty of this lock is this can be used for any doors, whether it is wooden door, whether it is frame door, whether it is frameless glass door, you can get the case and cover and then you can use it. So this is monitor you can use for the access control door, non-access control doors with PMS integration, door positioning, bolt positioning, you can monitor the feedback status. So this is for single leaf as well as for the double leaf. A very simple but very best security lock which is available in the industry, the high security. Yes, we have in fact sensor barriers, which is for the entrances where you want to control the complete public flow and you have to give the accesses and of course with the increased throughput. So the best example what I want to give you is all the airports. You can see all the running airports now, which is very well developed in India. So all the DG Yatra on sensor barriers, which is given with the FRS, and these are all sensor barriers are of Lumakawa, which is being provided. Of course, we are there all the commercials, all the entrance lobbies, as well as for the industrial lobbies, where you want the entrances to be with the access, authorized access with, of course, integration of even the leaf lobbies, so which we call the destination controls, that can also be given. So the photos which we are showing, this is from Ajay Malpani, and then there is even the Lodha, and of course from other Mumbai side photos which we are showing in the projects. Next. This is a new sensor barrier which we are launching. And the Argus V60 offers the smallest footprint of any optical turnstile in the market today. Argus V60 offers a footprint less than 10 inches, providing the ability to fit into the tightest of spaces, integrating into your access control system and ensuring tailgate detection. Available in a variety of color options, V60 offers the same architectural design elements as the rest of our Argus line. The ergonomically positioned scan plate and status lights have been installed on the front of the turnstiles for better visibility and ease of use. Current optical turnstiles in the market detect passage using horizontal and/or vertical sensors that capture an array of roughly 15 to 30 points. This can create blind spots within the sensor array that lead to false alarm triggers or unrecognized tailgating attempts. Argus V60 offers a more effective solution. Using vertically positioned sensors, the V60 generates a more complete sensor capture, while Dormakaba's SenseLib analyzes the shapes of the array to differentiate between multiple people or objects within the lane. Pairing the more detailed sensor information captured by the V60 with SenseLib is what allows the V60 to effectively differentiate between a true tailgating attempt, a person carrying a large bag, or two people walking closely together. So basically V60 is where there is a space constraint, you can use the V60 and you can achieve all the three security even with the best algorithm and sensor array of sensors. So integrated access where we have the access control solutions, master key system, door closer and architecture hardware, electronic door locks, car windows and peripherals, electromagnetic locks and electric stripes. So these all products are integrated with access control solutions. The best part is we have wireless, and of course, both combination you can use wire and wireless, and you can have the access control system. We have another typical, BCom advantage. BCom NCP is an integrated module where it's, any third party, you have the ERP packages which we are using. We can have this intermediate, BCom solutions which can integrate with the access solution. And this is integrated with your SAP system, Workday, Oracle, or Oracle updated one. All the system we have, even mechanical key system, which is of course you know the word master key system, but we have patented key cylinders, which is Pentacross, Expert Plus, Extra Plus, which is of course you cannot copy any keys in the locally, and you can not only the doors, you can use it for the lockers, you can use it for the cabinets, you can use it for the rolling shutters, any doors. So you can see one key for all, which is one campus, one key. There is a program which we have started from Domakaba, and this is exclusive for the master key systems. Yes, of course, as I said to that we have into Domakaba hardwares, and we have all the mortise locks, lever handles, spool handles as per the norms of EN and ANSI, which can be given. The new introduction, which is has this eliminating building to be barrier free, which is person with a disability. The disability norms are very rigid by 2023, and we have touchless panels can be given. And of course, we have the trail kit, which is available integrated with sliding and swing door access solutions for the handicapped washrooms and other areas too. Of course, we have remounted glass partition system with acoustics, which can give you high acoustic from 30 dB to 50 dB. And this is another one, the solutions from our side for the interior glass systems, along with the access solution wired and wireless. Yes, we have mobile wall, also sliding folding wall, where we are sitting right to JW Bharat, and the both side there is a mobile wall which is created by Domakaba from last 12 years, and it's performing from last 5 years. So yes, mobile wall comes from Malaysia as well as from Germany, and this is what we are supplying to all Indians, our region. We have fully automatic as well as semi-automatic. You can see semi-automatic where we have to take the panels from the parking manually and use it on the main track, and seating which will happens automatically with the help of the and the fully automatic, which is on the press of the knob, the complete system will run from the parking to the main track. The vertical sliding folding, which is Skyfold, the new innovative product, it is vertical mobile walls called Skyfold. Of course, we are there for the Econ Strategic Framework Partnership, where we are the company which is focusing and investing on the R&D and sustainability on the all the product cycle. We are one of the member in the Sustainability Development Goals from United Nations. Yes, please do visit our stall. Sorry, we are running. I mean, with just 10 minutes, I have covered all the product solutions for you. Please do visit our at the corner. We have products displayed, and we can discuss more on this and to become offices smart with our all the Domakaba product solutions. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Now, coming to the main discussions of this evening that we all have gathered here, I need to first start with thanking each and every person who's taken their time out in the middle of a weekday, coming, sharing their knowledge, sharing their experience and insights. I can't begin to say how much that means to me, because it's not just easy captivating this crowd, but it's the thought process that they've put behind the panel discussions that are going to be taking place here. Only I know because I've been part of their WhatsApp groups, and it's really not easy to come up with the points, to come up with the discussions, to come up with the topics that are so relevant and that is so important and integral for our industry at this point and age. So I'm not going to take up much time. The first topic of our panel discussion is bridging the gap between global standards and local realities. Moderating this particular panel is a person who is dynamic at its core. He needs absolutely no introduction to the industry, not just in Pune, but across our country. The firm has built some of the most legacy buildings across our widespread country, be it its geography, be it its culture. They have integrated so much in their work. And I'm going to quickly run a quick introduction about the person, the moderator, and the Sutradhar, like what Bihor would usually say for this panel, is architect, not architect, Ram Prasad Akiseti. He is the founding managing director for Christopher Charles Bellinger Architects and has been leading the firm for over 30 years. An alumni of AFMC with an academic background in medicine. This is what actually amused and astonished me the most about this person, that he adapted so beautifully to our industry, and the way he synced with the ideologies of the evolving times is just phenomenal. So, with a background in medicine, psychology, and anthropology, he is also an author and curator. His works include Psychology for Beginners and Architecture for Modern India, and has also published the best selling Letters to a Young Architect, with writings and photographs in over 100 journals worldwide. He is a noted voice in architecture today, and Ram divides his time between leading CCPA and curating at India House Art Gallery, paintings, and speaking on design and culture. With this, a huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, as we invite Mr. Ram to take the stage and direct this show and the panel discussion today.
Good evening. It's wonderful to see a full house on time. Uh, Rashmi, thank you for that lovely introduction. It did sound a little bragging, didn't it? Rashmi, Inderjeet, and Vibor, thank you for having me over here. This is the third time I'm witnessing this Office Summit in the city, right? Uh, and I'll tell you the part what I find it lucky towards the end of my discussion. Uh, you see, panel discussions can be very boring. I've decided that why don't we make it more like a talk show and more interactive than making it like a kind of a Q&A kind of thing. So, especially when we have uh, when we have discussions on topics like heavy topics, I would say, like this is a little bit heavy topic when there is a topic even like bridging the gap between global standards and how do you kind of like manage it with the local realities, and especially when we are in the evening after work hours, and you have lovely food and the liquids flowing. The focus on this topic becomes a little bit like kind of difficult. First of all, Rashmi, I think I must say that like you have chosen a topic which is very wide, vague, and difficult. I tried to Google it. There's a lot of philosophy. There's a lot of, I mean, like material in that, and I was lost to the point that I did not know where to pick up, what to pick up, and so I kind of finally gave up. This was yesterday. Yesterday in the evening, we were chatting in the group, and I kind of blacked out. I could not come out with like what sort of questions should I ask my panelists. I hope all my panelists are over here. Are they all here? Finally. So, like I kept on telling that, like, I'll send you the questions, I'll send you the questions, and it just like kind of slipped out, and I could never do it. Added to that, what happened is yesterday was my upwas, Tuesday, you see. And keep in mind, my upwas is not a displacement of this kind of food with another kind of. When I say that, like, I do 24-hour cycle upwas, that means like the last meal I would eat it on Monday night, and the next meal would be on Tuesday night. It was a full 24-hour cycle. No food, no drinks, no water. It's a full 24 hours. And to throw a little bit spice on that, I went on a walk. 5 kilometers walk yesterday in the evening. I returned back from the walk at 7 o'clock in the evening, reached my dining table. Trust me, friends, I finished my food in 3 minutes. Blank. It was over. I ate like an animal. I'm not joking. No questions, no complaints, no face making. I start realizing that like doing upvas is a great way to kind of detoxifying your uh, digestive system. Of course, it aligns your energies and also it gives you clarity. The point I'm trying to raise is that like it makes me for the first time respect the farmers who grow our food. It makes me respect those people who cook food for us. So friends, this evening let's make sure that we don't waste our food. Can we pledge on that? Okay. So good evening, friends. I'm Ram. I'm the managing director of CCBA Designs. This year we are 30 years old. We were born in 1995, 30 years back, and we haven't grown from then. From that point till now, we have remained the same, almost mimicking. Sometimes, you visit some restaurants, you have these boards which say that we have no branches. So we are like something like that. We have no branches. And you start wondering over 30 years of working in an organization from the day that you began till now. You mature, you collect your ideas, you have derived your philosophy of working in life. You have a way of set manners, and I also have gathered lovely friends, lovely colleagues, friends. Some of them are sitting here. Today, I happened to meet a young lady, Dashani, yes. And she came to me and she said that, sir, you were my teacher teaching in Ferguson College psychology to me, and I still cherish your book. And believe me, I had not remembered this for like last 30 years. This is 1996. Dashani, she's going to be in your panel. Stand up. It's very nice to see people like you and others. And I must thank Vibhor, Indrajit, and Rashmi to bring all of us together over here. And to support all this activity, you have these wonderful sponsors. In fact, they are our patrons. So one big round of applause to all of us. So friends, this is not an easy topic, and I have a great deal of uh, notes written, and I have told all my panelists that, like, look, what I want is tell stories. Let's not make it boring. Stories from your life, stories from your experience. And that is what we're going to do, and I'm going to invite each of you, my panel, to the stage, and please honor the stage, please. Uh, the first one I would be calling is Girish Alchet. Girish, please come on over here. You've been working with the Volkswagen Group Technologies, finding solutions, and you were the head for last 22 years. Welcome to the panel. And he has a lot of experience working with the MNCs and in the field of corporate real estate as well as other kind of jobs that he was holding. My next panelist is Rohit Yadav. Are you here, Rohit? Please join me at the panel. And Rohit is a general manager of Colliers India. And he looks after the operations in Pune. Rohit Colliers were also working with us at Ajit Page University. They won the Proud Managers. We had very lovely experience with working with Colliers. And the next panelist is Zainab Bukada. Are you here, Zainab? Please welcome to the panel. She's a visionary architect and a senior director at Cushman and Wakefield, leading India's first indigenous design team in a global consultancy with over 20 years of experience on complex projects and within tight budgets. So after that, we have Sujit Gulati. Are you here? Come, please come. I read that like you studied in Pune at MIT, right? Good. And did you study engineering from there? Yes, please welcome. And now Mr. Gulati is the CEO. I'm sorry. Let me correct. It's Sanjit. Sanjit is CEO of the Vikram Gaikwad Group, and he's essentially managing the real estate and infrastructure projects in Pune. After that, I have my good friend Kapil Sedani, who's a principal architect of transition design, and they are also doing a lot of film sets, as I learned. Yeah, long back. Okay, welcome. And their firm does exclusively corporate interiors. And the last one I have is Makran Shitole. Where is Makran? Please welcome. Come over here. And Makram, you've been with IBM, right? But she for over 20 years, and now he has started his own consultancy firm. Uh, Good evening and welcome to all of you over here. And we have been interacting on the WhatsApp, and this is the first time I'm seeing all of you. You all look wonderful. Thank you for coming over here. Now, I have given a carte blanche to the panelists saying that, like, talk something from your heart. So the idea of this gathering is that is there something that we can carry home as lessons, as stories, as wisdom well lived. So let's understand what they have in their heart, where none of us have prepared, and that's the best thing. Uncut, raw, straight coming from experience, from our heart. So my first question would be to all of you, and I would expect all of you to just keep it less than 4 minutes so that like we keep it in the time. So the question is, tell me a story or an example from your life that how would you kind of address this issue of bridging the gap between global standard, and how did you imply it in kind of enforcing it on ground in reality in India? So maybe from the far end, tell me.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
As Ramses rightly said, we have zero preparation. We're going extremely extempore today. And so I'm going to stay true or try to stay true to the topic, which is bridging the gap between global standards and local realities. And I've been in the industry for a long time now, almost 20 years. So I've seen it evolve, how we started off and where we've reached. There's a long story to tell. And I think 4 minutes is hardly going to do justice to 20 years of work. But to start off with, I'm going to go backward. In recent times, I find that the Indian market or the Indian office space, and I'm a workspace designer, so I'm going to stay true to that as well. The workspace design is much evolved, and our clients are much more discerning. So the gap that used to prevail a long time ago has significantly reduced. I'm not saying that we are better or international standards are better, but there are trade-offs. So there are things in our industry, there are amenities and facilities that we provide in our offices, like a creche, a laundromat, various, like we have 5-star chefs coming into the cafeteria to prepare food. So there's a lot of facilities that the Indian office space is providing to the employees that are not affordable elsewhere at times. But at the same time, there are some drawbacks. Like, for example, when we're choosing materiality, the choice of materials that we are able to make, be it because of the budget, be it because of the time that it takes for it to come here, there are still gaps. And I think one of my main complaints with the Indian industry and our clients is this cultivated sense of urgency in design that I find. Everything needs to be done yesterday. They might take, even for me, an RFP takes a long, long time. But when it comes to us, the designer, we want it 2 days later. A design is a baby. There is an evolution. You have to give it the due respect, and you have to give the designer the due respect. And according to me, that's the biggest gap of all. Having said that, in my experience, a lot of, not all clients are bad. A lot of them are very discerning. So I won't name the client itself, but in terms of inclusivity, in terms of sustainability, in terms of understanding neurodiversity, ESG, responsibly sourced materiality. One of the clients that I've worked with was so far ahead, even in their technology towards inclusivity. We developed an app, and some of my colleagues who have worked on that project are sitting here. We developed an app for the differently able, for the hard of hearing. We worked with ENT doctors on the phone, so that when a person, an employee walked into the office area and they neared a key focus zone, a key area, a high traffic area, there was feedback loop for people who couldn't see that told them, oh, you are now at the reception area, turn left towards the washroom, turn right towards the main cafeteria, etc., etc. So I think even as Indians, we've gone quite far ahead towards certain practices.
Good evening, everybody. So, as Zainab has started the discussion, and we're all looking unprepared on the topic, as Ram had mentioned. I, from a developer's point of view, would definitely like to add we have been successful in bridging the gap in the global standards and the deliverables we are delivering in the country to quite some extent. And I believe the requirements of the Indian market are quite fulfilled and are very rapidly being taken care of by our Indian developers and the market as such, as we so rightly heard from our industry colleagues before this panel discussion started. They're all on track to develop some of the best products indigenously. And that has definitely helped us in bridging the gap, because today the customer is global. Every customer has seen offices worldwide, and they definitely expect the same standard, even if they're not paying the same prices, but the standards and the facilities they require from us are the same. And I am sure my industry colleagues also will they will confirm with me that we have been successful more or less to give the deliverables as our global counterparts. And slowly and steadily, we have reached a point where we are, if not at par, but we are delivering standard product as the global requirements of the market are there. So we are already doing our bits, each one of us in the industry, and it should reach a point where you will not find difference inside a building whether you're in Pune or you're in New York. So that is how the gap has been bridged, and it's a continuous process because they are also taking the leaps forward, and so are we. So we hope to have this global scenario present, and that is good for the industry. We also are learning a lot and developing many products according to the global standards. And we are delivering the products in such a way that we are at par, if not ahead of our global people.
Hello. So thanks, sir, and thanks for the nice. So everybody has seen my own command of the balance. The lot of place that everybody has to be. Nobody has anything. So everything. Yeah. So everything that will come out from a storm it will be spontaneous, it will be completely unprepared. So, excuse me if I stutter or fumble in any case. From the project management point of view, so from the project management point of view, I would say a few things. So when we are taking up the project, I think one important aspect is labor upskilling. So India is one of those countries which is a very large pool of laborers. In fact, it is one of the biggest labor force. But when we talk in terms of percentage, I think very less percentage of labor is skilled. And when we are designing or when we are developing some designs, uh, so global standards, global designs, global the drawings that we ever shared, we have to evaluate that is it acceptable, how we're going to execute that, how we're going to implement that as per the work skill set of the labor in India. So I think that is one question that always comes to my mind when I execute or when I see the execution. So example could be when we are on a ground level, when you ask somebody sitting on the ladder and he's fixing a gypsum board or doing a conduiting, there will be two laborers who will be pushing their ladder, so those will be helper. So out of those four laborers, there will be one skilled labor and there will be three unskilled labor who will be supporting those. So I think when we are talking, okay, we need to bridge that gap and we are definitely moving in that direction. But when we are means achieving as per the global aspirations, I think there is one thing that we need to focus on the labor upskill as well. So I think that should also be our focus. And when we talk about European countries, Americas, I think those people like masons, plumbers, or gypsum guys, they are treated as professionals. But in India, we hardly notice there are five carpenters. We hardly notice that these are the carpenters. So those go unnoticed. I think there should be some importance when we are targeting to be a global $5 billion economy. That the labor upskillment should also be there.
Good evening. Good answer. Okay. This is a luckily coincidence for me. In the same property which has been ordered as a reference in 15 years back for the ICT, which I was the main part for designing and execution. One more luckily part in the almost 2 decades in IBM, including Banshee, which by default follows the global standards. Just to add, I will just a little bit go reverse side. It is not always that we have to follow the global standards. There are some parameters. Our Indian teams are also quite efficient to give something which can make be a part of a global view. By seeing this, in this property, the ICT was the base foundation. The people sitting here are of all the different segments of the smart buildings. Some are access control, CCTV, and these systems are n number of systems. Collaboration is the only ICT is the background, information communication technology, which is the backbone of every system. That is the single thing which can collaborate all the system under single platform. So that was a big challenge. And such global standards don't allow customization, which we have done last 15 years back and last recently after 6 years in Ritz-Carlton also. And Ritz-Carlton was the reference site in Asia Pacific, which was the #1 awarded for the ICT time. So I just wanted to make a point. We can also give the Indian team, but the intention and the collaboration of each and every person, including the management, consultant, execution team, should all be on the same platform, giving the good intention towards a new thing. And through these two sides, I can definitely say they are open to adapt what we are able to give out. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Myself, I'm working more being an architect, but have chosen the line for corporate office workplace designs. So we'll talk in that terms about uh, at this situation right now. We as an Indians have progressed so well, and I agree with you that there's no much as such differences left between we need to adopt or to follow some global standards. Uh, Obviously, it depends upon all the companies how they want to portray themselves and their workplaces. There are different clients who have a very similar color schemes and very specific layout and the products and everything. So it's kind of just laying out the things in that manner. There are many clients who keeping the global standards, but definitely love to explore, depend upon the location where they are opening up the office. So we have been facing both the challenges and the thing which comes in the picture is it's all about people. Every client, every customer finally talks about their employees, their people, how they are going to experience. Because in India, every individual spends 8 hours, alive 8 hours in the office. They don't even spend in the houses as well. Houses they sleep for 8 to 10 hours. So travel and all that, it is just 4 hours at house, but 8 hours in the office. So between the global standard and India offices, the major one code which is different is emotions. We have a lot of emotion to our workplace, our house and workplace. So that uh, changes everything. Yeah, finally, people are the base important line, their safety, their norms, inclusivity, everything what we are talking about right now. That comes automatically. But emotion is something which is a hidden portion which everybody loves to be a part in terms of offices. You guys have all experienced the new office comes up, every employee starts taking a selfie and posting it online. So that is something which we call it as emotion quotient, where that's the place where we are working. Everybody enjoys to explore it that way altogether. So here, at many of my projects when we have worked in, we have in fact convinced to change a bit of global standard in terms of not 100%, but to a level where a local impression also starts coming in. A local stay, a local way of working styles are also being added up rather than just forcing somewhere down the line, somewhere in the Europe or US, they are working in the city. So I think emotion plays a lot of role where, and finally, what the management wants, and they want their employee to be happy working, obviously with all the safety standards, but again happy to work at that place. And obviously, a workplace comfort, design, colors, what we are built in. Not only the plain colors, we are more colorful people. So that way, adding that, making it a more positive office always is cherished. So uh, I say now that standards, yeah, in terms of safety and all that, that's different level. But again, we have gone a little one step ahead, I feel, at many places where they also wish to follow what we design over. Thank you.
Thanks. Good evening. Good evening, I'm Girish. I am from China. So I am the only odd man out there in user perspective because we have stalwarts of architects and project managers. But I would like to look at this concept of design and how, after working with so many large multi-billion dollar organizations, how does the design aspect transfer from global to local? So I think the approach which I personally take when I am building office or for any other organization when I work with is a 3C approach. When I mean 3C approach, one is first is corporate. The second and the foremost important is your customer, because that's what you're working for. And the third is your community. If these three are your primary stakeholders when you do build a design, then what does that translate into? So when it comes to corporate,
I think primarily as we're talking corporate, meaning globally, working for a large global organization. So there are certain design standards, safety standards, security protocols, communication protocols, and so on and so forth, which goes as a blue book or a playbook which you give. And that includes a lot of branding stuff. When you mean branding, the colors and the aesthetics and everything has to go in line with what's the management and a global standard looking like. So are you as an end user trying to translate that back into your org design? Is a very predominant aspect which every organization should look at. I think that's where the whole corporate and the global connection with the global thinking and local influence has to work with. So that's primary and the most predominant aspect for a design or office design when you look at. The second aspect when I talked about is customer, because your customer is your finally for which you are serving your entire or you're building your office. And when I mean customer, customers are multiple shades of customers. Your external customer for which you are building your softwares and or your end product and what is your product going to be, who's a vehicle may be used primarily by a client sitting anywhere across the country or across the globe. But your primary customer there is not that end customer which visits you for a day or two, but it's your employees. So your entire ethos around your design has to be your employees. How and where and how your office going to make their life more flexible, easy and convenient. I think right from the time they walk into the office and they exit the office, as someone you rightly said, that it's an emotional attachment no more. It's not something which I just come to office, work and just go. So whenever you're building your entire office premises, I think the whole premise is around making your internal customer absolutely satisfied. He should be very happy when he moves out. So that's very, as we talk, we'll probably build on it. But I think that's a very important facet of your design. And that's what every end user or every designer should look at. And the third and very important aspect is community. When I mean community, it's not just about larger community, but your own way of building the office. Today we are talking about 20 years back, if I would have built the office, this probably element of community would have never even touched my mind. But today when I'm building office, when recently we build office, primary is that how am I going to balance between the nature or the sustainability part of it? How's the green energy? What's the amount of material which I'm going to use in the making my office? What sort of reusable or renewable stuff I'm going to use? So that's where we are actually contributing indirectly, I would say, not directly, and the community piece. And when you're actually building the office, very importantly, when I bring the facilities aspect here, that there are when you have your own employees, you have a significant large amount of other uh, people, whether it's housekeeping, security, or your drivers and stuff like that, who are also working in that whole ecosystem. So that ecosystem supports not just your direct employees, but a larger plan, your own suppliers and all that. So try to make your office design in such a way that everyone is accommodated, everyone is absolutely satisfied with that. And finally, what goes out is that, the whole design is certainly going to be up to the mark when it comes to global standards, not just from a technology perspective, but when your management is visiting, they feel that there's a significant amount of connect which is established. Thank you.
Wonderful. I think to kind of carry forward what Kapil was saying, that probably there is something that we from India, now that we are a very important country in the global business, we can teach the rest of the world. It's not like every time we have to learn from the West, that there is something that we can also teach them. Almost 15 years back, we had this great opportunity to work with Shri Tulsi Tanti ji, who's no more here. He was the chairman of Suzlon company, which is a wind energy company. And I very distinctly remember when the Suzlon team visited, and with a brief which was given by the chairman, find an architect who can design a corporate headquarters which looks global, in the sense contemporary and global. But when anybody visits, be it Indians, Americans, he had global clients, Chinese or Germans, when they visit, they must feel that they are in India. So that was the brief. The brief was not having anything to do with like how much land, how many people to be accommodated, or like, how many stories it should be, or how many conference rooms. It was like, can you design a building which is global, but also it kind of resonates India in every sense. Now that was a very challenge. You see, uh, we have to use everything which was like back in 15 years back. A lot of materials were being imported. Today we get some of the materials back here also. Uh, but we had to do everything, and then to add spice to this, they even introduced what was considered midway through the kind of project design development. They introduced, oh, since we are an energy rich country, we want our building to be a sustainable building. We want it to be a green building. And we said, okay, now everything changes. Everything changes when you're introducing green. Back in those days, the IGBC rules were very different compared to today. Today, a lot of those rules have been kind of, I would say, like reformatted for Indian use, the Indian climate situation, because there were many things which are point based over there, you know. However, to cut the long story short, we designed Suzlon One Earth global headquarters in front of Magalpata city in a technical property. We didn't do anything which was a glass building. It was not a tall building. We did it instead of what is a skyscraper, we built something which is called a ground scraper. And it was very local. Anybody who walked in, they felt like it was modern. They felt that like this feels India. We had a lot of like, I would say like Indian motifs that kind of brought in the idea and the memory of India every place. Not only that, it finally became one of the largest green building, platinum rated building, plus also it attained the REHA 5-star ratings. So if as designers, if you can pay a little attention, I think we can teach the rest of the world that like we can be Indian, but also provide solutions to the global market as designers. And that's what designers are supposed to do. They need to find solutions. As against, like many places now which are like running in the rat race and building buildings. And these buildings can be in Shanghai, Mumbai, or Dubai, right? All bye-byes. So I think designers need to own up the idea that like local is very, very important, but at the same time, you have to address true issues. It has to be global and it has to be sustainable. I mean, I don't know how many will you agree, but I do very, very clearly believe that we have to be global, we have to be Indian and sustainable all at once in one building. Now, that's a big challenge for designers, and that's where designers should take this as a kind of a brief to kind of execute. Now, what I feel is that like we can't say that like one size fits everyone, right? We need to customize it. So how do we customize it? That's a big challenge, especially global rules are kind of bounced onto us. And then we have Indian way of working, which is very different. As one of the panelists was saying that our labor is very ill-prepared. Our infrastructure teams are ill-prepared. We are able to do like great buildings like this. Where it fails down is in the infrastructure. Majority of the failures happen in the infrastructure, and the large infrastructures like our accessibilities, our security systems, our roads, these are where the failures happen. Now, as a parting kind of answer, each one of you, not more than 1 minute, I think I want you to tell one example as a building that like somebody can note down here and Google and figure it out, like what is that they can learn from in your life's experiences. Is there a project or a building that you can name that like that you have worked on that kind of lends certain lessons? So why don't we start from this side this time? You've been working with.
Zensar Technologies campus in Karadi. So it was a first of its kind campus, which after Infosys and Wipro had campuses in phase one, but on the east side, and we were the ones who actually said what's Kharadi and told the entire city that Kharadi is where Zensar is. So Zensar and Kharadi used to go very hand. So one interesting, and that was done by very renowned architect Somaya and Kalappa. And Somaya and Kalappa were even awarded, national award was given to them for the project. But few interesting facts about that project was that, as you rightly said, ground scraper. We never built, because we have large, almost 8-acre plot, but we just built 2,000 seats, a large spanned office with a, cantilever which was almost 40 feet, right, facing the garden and the collapse space. The name itself was Zensar. So the entire concept was Zen. And when you mean Zen, Zen means a lot of greenery, spaces where people can just sit around the tree and start developing their software. And way back when I'm talking 20 years back, it was very different concept. People didn't even have offices to sit while we were building these things. So I think very big takeaway is when we build these offices, and especially when you're talking a groundbreaking project, I think thinking out of the box that these designs also work. And when we talk about these designs, I think the whole element of giving a large space for every employee, we're talking about 125, 150 square feet a person, which was today it's unheard of. So every employee has its own space to maneuver around. And then the open spaces, which was also when you step out of the office, you feel equally fresh or equally refreshed to come back and work. So I think that was amazing. Thank you.
Short net, yeah. A very long story. We got a chance to work with a company named Tieto. Now we call it as Tieto Every right now. So back 2015, 14, 15, the idea of the office was asked to us to just throw something different idea about the whole office. So at that time, a new word in 2015 was about uplift workstation. There were no manufacturers over here as well who were creating that kind of table and all that. So जोश में present कर दिया uplift office होगा ये होगा which is very normal now, like post COVID all things are like flexible workspace. So that time we learned somewhere and we threw the idea about it. Uh, Fortunately, the client agreed on that. So he said, okay, let's go ahead and proceed this. But execution side, it was so difficult for us to get to fit in the budget which was given. So for me, it was such a good learning. Myself, I went to China, got connected to some of the people there, sat with their engineers and developed the workstation with literally half the cost of what India were providing it. And finally fitted my budget. And later it got copied to even the international offices. I think that was the one thing.
Short and sweet. This is a project in Viman. The first Tesla's office, same premises. We were facing a problem related to the lift destination counter. So basically, today's everything is being centralized with the IC. Okay, it's true. I don't know for all. But we face a challenge regarding the RS 485 condition. So I will not take the name of the other vendors because in the other sectors they are quite good also. So US based, Israel based, and India based. Whatever the companies were there for the lift station integration of the access control, they were not able to communicate it faster in the seconds. And company, luckily they are the part of here, Goma, Solus is the same system. They tried, we did a good model of it. We were able to do the implementation, including all the scarce and problems which we are facing beyond phase 1 and 2. That is, those features are available in each and every different kinds of companies. But this is the only setup which will be having all those features and parameters under single umbrella, and which we were able to success from the boom barrier itself to the swing barrier to the lift, and VMS also included in the same with the mobile app also. And it was a good initiative, and we were able to success it. Thank you.
So I'll give you an example. So it's one of my clients. It's a big media house. It's a big media house. So they have this IIQ mandate, indoor air quality mandate. So they were doing this IIQ, and some of the values were just beyond the threshold. So that immediately got escalated to their global team, and they came back to us that we cannot occupy the office. We'll have to shut it down for 2 months until things settle down. Because you understand, means if you're making a cutout in the tabletop or those types of things, so there is a lead content that is in the atmosphere. So we told them let's target let us do the building flushing and all those activities. So rigorously we did those building flushing, and fortunately we were able to make life office life in the due time. So
I'd like to share the project in Gurgaon. It is presently the TCS North India headquarters. I had the opportunity to work with an American developer called Heinz, and it was a great learning experience back in 2012. The standards they had and the kind of designing they did, and the way of working, and it was truly the global standards set in the Indian environment.
Great. Then just one word. Sorry to rush you up.
Mike is not cooperating. Okay, so I'm going to name one project which was way back when, 10 lakh square feet, the biggest in India, award-winning, going on in one time in workspace design, where 3 of my dreams were met of global capacity. One, the time that it took to design, the time that it took to get the elements in place was respected. The time it took to, the budget that it took to kind of, get those in place was respected. And I think that's one of my favorites so far. I'll keep it to 2 instead of 3.
Thank you. Thank you all the panelists, and well, like to kind of give a conclusion that I think we're learning from the global experiences, but we are also evolving to give solutions to the global audience as clients, what India can offer to the rest of the world. I think we do build buildings which are more or less like 1/3 the cost of anywhere in the world, and we are able to match up to the global standards in a fraction of a cost, with all the difficulties that one would have in a evolving and developing economy where there is a dearth of skills as well as manpower. So we are learning and moving together. At the same time, we are pacing it up to the point that we can lend lessons now to the global kind of audience. Now, that is something which is very positive and affirming to the design fraternity, because we are evolving and we will continue to evolve. So thank you, Indrajit, thank you, Rashmi, and to Vibhor. It's wonderful to see all 3 of you. Every year you come and host this summit, the Office Workspace Summit, and I've considered myself to be very lucky. Every single time that you have invited me, I think this is the 3rd time. And the first time I came over here 2 years or 3 years back, there was somebody who was a government administrator, and he was sitting next to me, and I presented something, and then he became a client. So we got a project. Last year, I was giving a keynote talk, and there was a panelist, and there was a developer from Navi Mumbai. And then later on, he came and he was very impressed that our office could design a building, an office space from an old factory. So we converted an old factory into an office space. And we said, like, why do we need to demolish this building and build a whole new building? Why don't we kind of, like rehatch it, or let's say like reappropriate it? And we liked it. And that was an office space I presented last time. And this client, this developer from Navi Mumbai came to me afterwards, and he visited our office. He called his papa and said that we have a good architect we should hire, and we got another project, Inshallah, hope that I become lucky again. Hat trick. I think I need to find that hidden jewel amongst you who could be my next client. So, thank you for patiently listening to us. You all know that it's very difficult to kind of play the role that I'm trying to play. I have to be nice, but at the same time, they are a bundle of talent, a bundle of experiences, a bundle of knowledge, all put together. Thank you for the lovely suggestions that you gave. I'm sure all of us are going to remember the points that you have told. We are going to like kind of, like revisit them over the drinks, and all of you are welcome to talk to them, talk to me after the panel discussions are over, and we'll just catch up at the dinner time with the drinks. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Rob. Thank you so much to each of my panel members. You all gave your answers with such elan and with such insights. Thank you so much, and thank you for bringing it out of them. And no preparation. He did not give them any time to prepare, though he was culminating it at his own end. But a huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for this panel here. And I'm going to quickly call on stage Mr. Amresh Parika, who is the product head for glass solutions at Doma Kaba, and Mr. Manish Peshin, who is the business head for professional lighting at Havells India, to give a small token of appreciation from our end to each of the panel members here. Requesting both, and please, if I could ask my panel members to come forward for a quick photo op, it would be very great. In the middle of the week, seriously taking the time out, and each of you all taking your time is really commendable, and I appreciate this so much.
फोटो लेके नीचे बढ़ जाओ, ये तो मैं पहले वीडियो लेता फिर तो फोटो
Such a dynamic panel.
की पर लेना नहीं तू फोटो लो ना लो
I'm going to quickly hand over a small token of appreciation to each of the members of the panel. And I'm requesting Mr. Amresh and Mr. Manish to please do the honors on that. Lovely water size. Thank you. Mr. Amresh and Mr. Manish, please do the honors to give our small token of appreciation to each of the panel members. So I see we start with the lady first, Zainab there. Thank you, Zainab, so much for being here with us today. Thank you so much. Yes, thank you so much, Zena. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Thank you so much, Mr. Amresh and Mr. Manish. I'm gonna quickly call on stage Mr. Ashish Kumar, who is the Director of Sales and Services with Buridam, to come on stage and present this also that has been a very integral part of our journey so far, of our evolution here at Smart Office. And it's an immense pleasure to call here on stage Ashish to run us through what Buridam and their portfolio of products is all about. Ashish, over to you. A round of applause, everyone, for Ashish.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks, Ram sir, for a very insightful discussion. got a very new, some new concepts. AC, sir was talking about global, but yeah, working for the Indian context and emotions, where the couple sir was talking about emotion thing. But yeah, I'm here combining some of the topics, some of the touch base you guys have done. So we are here to talk about sustainable solutions for building.
Stand the question.
So I represent Unidem. It's a Dutch company. It started in 1873. So this year we are completing 152 and down to Amsterdam. So we have a long journey. In India, we are completing like our partner. We are also completing 25 years. We started in 2000 and it's a Unidem India 100 subsidiary started in 2008. So it's a long legacy. So we are having a factory in 3 different continents: US, China, and Netherlands. So it's a truly global company having business more than 60 countries, more than 1,400 employees. So it's a truly global company. Our solutions divided in 3 different segments: doors, security barriers, and services. Why I'm talking about services? Because it's very important part. We say we provide service and product is part of the service, because the mechanical part, electromechanical part, and this you are going to install for next 15, 20 years. So service is an important part. So I will start with the first product, door. Door means why door and why what we door. It's a concept called always open, always closed. Open for people to cross from one side to the other side, closed for the external environment to travel from one side to the other side and vice versa. Secondly, when you are installing a revolving door and stopping the external environment to transfer from outside to inside, so your building inside will be quieter and healthier building. When your building is quieter and healthier and it's stopping the transfer or leakages from outside to inside, so it's reduce the thermal transfer. We all are talking about the sustainable solution, green building. When it reduces thermal transfers, so building becomes more green. When building becomes more greener, sustainable entrance made of sustainable material, and it is giving you the energy saving, which I'll talk about later on. Is a sustainable entrance, and then the small revolving door, a 3-meter dia revolving door, can give you the same effect which you get in 6 meter of the vestibule. We provide a 2 sliding doors with a 6-meter space. So the 3-meter dia door, it can achieve the same performance. So you are getting more space, and plus the revolving door is not making your building. So the very important topic when I was discussing and we are talking about sustainable solutions. So as per the outlook, energy outlook, the 37% of the energy, India energy is used by the built environment surrounding us, which generate 27% of carbon emissions. And that is very big chunk, like 1/3 of the carbon emissions coming from the building which we are creating. And for where it's happening, not only the construction material, there are different things, even the leakages which is happening through the building. The leakages where it's happening through the entrances, through the facades, even through the roof, a different type of materials. So what we do, if we want to reduce that energy and consumptions, we have done a study long back with the MIT US, where MIT used a revolving door, and they have shown the 3 scenarios. You can see in the presentations, if you are using a 50% revolving door in terms of the capacity I'm talking about, uses wise, it saves your energy by 15% approximately. If you're using a revolving door, 75% in terms of uses, it saves around 39% of energy. If the 100% the building is with a revolving door, it saves your energy by 74%. To convert that into number, it's your 6.5 lakh saving per month. It's a big number. So like we are in the 5 houses, across the 5 houses energy, which we are wasting just because of the interest is not properly designed or it's not proper. I'll show a small test which we have done with the same MIT. And this is where we have shown how revolving door shape energies. We get the table entrance or sliding entrance. Whenever we are opening the smoke The outside environment is without any obstacles traveling from one side to other side. Another example, we filled one compartment of the revolving door with a full of smoke, and then the revolving door will start rotating. So there you see the difference. It's very less energy transfer or outside environment transferring from outside to inside, because getting trapped inside of the compartment itself, and as soon as the door is rotating, it's pushing the air from inside to out. Saving the team, saving money for the building, saving money for the client. Okay, next is what type of revolving door? Generally, there are two type of revolving door. One with the canopy, all the motor set on the top of the revolving door. Another is full glass door, where the mechanism, everything is inside the floor or the under the floor. It's rest everything is surrounded. All the security features, everything is surrounded with this. It's more or less common. I'll just explain what we have as a solution. As I said, one is with the canopy that called indicate. The door is so the glass door is called crystal door. Third door, so in terms of size, we can go up to 75 4-meter dia. In terms of height, we can go up to 6 meter. So other door is nothing but a different size of the door, and that's why we have different name. The big door is a combination of revolving door and the sliding door. And the further side by name is the sliding door with a circular motion. The next product is the barrier, security barrier. And why security barrier needed and what is the use of security barrier? It's required for crowd control, it's required for deterrent, for when you the detections, okay, who's the right person, who's not authorized, unauthorized, and when you detect, there is detection and prevention. So the barrier is not only needed to stop the people in any commercial building excuses. People are gathering in the lobby, and you have to channelize people, guide people in right direction. Somebody will go to secure floors, or somebody will unsecure floors also. So these barriers help you to channelize people from one direction to other direction, and the restrict movement also as per your wishes. And with barrier, there are other product, like if you want to have a level of security where you want to prevent, because barrier is not fully preventing people crossing from one side to other side without noticing. So we have another solution where the security is divided into different segments. The level 1 security, where we only detect what kind of people are, case of size, not authorized. Level 2 is like somehow it will detect and prevent. But level 4, level 3 is fully prevent the people from traveling from one side, non-secure side to secure side. And that is done through a security revolving door or security portals. There are two types of security portals. One is security revolving door, the circle slide, and how that works. How the security works with this door, I'll just explain. There are two important aspects of any of the barrier or security revolving door, tailgating and piggybacking. What is that? So in this condition, one person, authorized person entering in the compartment and trying to go from outside inside, non-secure to secure. Another person without any access trying to enter the door. So it's not allowed. It's called tailgating because it's not authorized, so it's not allowed. Now there are two people going in a single compartment. This is called piggybacking. Even though both are authorized, but because of security reason, both come back and then after that they have to the credentials get from a non-secure site to secure site. And how it's happening, we use a advanced technology, which is a patented technology called studio vision. It's a infrared technology combined with a different type of sensors, which detect tailgating as well as piggybacking. There's an advanced feature that I'm happy to share. Like in the country, we have more than 300 doors installed, security doors for the different corporates. Our clientage are from top up north, from Shimla down Kochi, from Kush to Assam. So across the country, we are having a clientage, but I'm not here to share all the installations and clientage, but I'm just sharing some 4 different innovative installation which we have done here in India. Because I was talking about the 6-meter high revolving door. We have done a revolving door, KK tower is in north, up north, which is 5.5-meter high door. Down south in Hyderabad, we have done 7.4-meter diagonal door with IKEA. Then the east part, Kolkata, so I was talking about destination control. It's done with one of the developer in Calcutta also. Then in west, we are doing one of first door, different fast food door with one of the leading hotel companies, hotel brand. So this is all about the solution, and we have a proof of concept over here. Me and my colleagues are happy to explain this product in a detail and happy to answer any technical question if you have. Thank you for waiting. And by the way, the last we have an experience center in the Navi Mumbai. So I take this opportunity to invite everyone. Please do visit the experience center where you can have a touch and base all kind of product which I have explained over here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ashish. I've been pushing him to keep it quick and short, and he stuck to his promise. Thank you so much. With this, I'm going to quickly call on stage our last industry address for the day, which is Mr. Satish Kumar Sharma, who is the president for sales and marketing at Featherlight Products. Featherlight is quickly going to run us through about what the ergonomics of office furniture and office solutions are there with the company and the product. And I'm going to quickly call him on stage. A huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for Mr. Satish, who's also promised to keep to his time, and he's asked me to remind him, so I'm going to do that. Excellent. Sure.
Good evening, everyone. Being the last industry input, right, it becomes so difficult. So wanted to try something more engaging. Are you all ready? Okay. So simple questions. Featherlight corporate office is in Bangalore. For all yes, please raise the hand. Featherlight corporate office is in Bangalore. If you feel it's right, please raise the hand. Oh, I'm able to see only 1, 2. Okay, the answer is right. So Bangalore is the head office for Featherlight. Featherlight has 4 factories in India. Yes or no? For all yes, please raise the hands. Guys, let me tell you, if you raise your hands, blood circulation is better and you feel good. So it's for your interest that I'm putting up this question. I have something more to show, but I wanted to give such ergonomic breaks so that you all feel good. Okay, let me again ask. Featherlight has 4 factories in India. Yes or no? This is something better. Okay, let me put up one more interesting question. Featherlight has real estate division. Yes or no? Yeah? Okay, the answer is yes. So Featherlight, in addition to furniture, we are into real estate business also. Featherlight manufactures more than 50,000 chairs in a month. Yes or no? Yes. Okay, so all those who said no, please convert it to yes, because we make more than 50,000 chairs in a month. Okay, one interesting input for you all. Featherlight, just this is a awakening question. Featherlight has a stall in this room, yes or no?
Yes.
Oh, whosoever has said no, you got to go there and see that Featherlight has a mock-up here for the products. One more interesting, motivating statement for you all. There is a big bowl near the Featherlight store, and please put your visiting cards there because we are going to have a lucky draw, and the winner is going to win an ergonomic chair. Yes? Okay, so people who aren't carrying their visiting cards can take Featherlight cards, but put your name and then drop it. Okay, so I just wanted to engage this, just put certain energy in. What we are going to do is there are certain trends which people have been talking around, certain trends I have listed here. A lot of things are happening around in terms of offices, hybrid way of working is in, automation, technology. I mean, a lot of things are happening because there have been drastic changes in the technology, in the sustainability, in the societal aspects, and certain generations which are coming in. So the other day I was at Mumbai, one of the big office at Mumbai, which takes care of 10,000 employees. Beautiful cafeteria, beautiful engaging areas, cafeteria, breakout areas, everything good. But I saw for a change a dentist available at office. Now, I mean, in my last 25 years of career, I have seen offices evolving, but not to that stage that, hey, come down in the office, we manage everything, you just focus on the work. So those are the trends which are actually coming up. And these kind of a slide which gives these indications today, people can work from everywhere. You can work at airport, cafeteria, cafe, anywhere. And if you got to think about going to an office, you got to think about, hey, if I need to park a car, I need to use an app and reserve the place for the car. If I need to look at a meeting room with the technology or an app, I need to book it. Now, these things are very different because of certain challenges coming in, and people are evolving, the workplace trends are evolving around, and many of the organizations are trying to bring back the employees to the work, whether it is 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, and but as one of the speakers was saying, there is no one size that fits all because every company is very different. And today, the new employee always look at the flexibility, saying that, sir, can I even work from home? Because this is something a norm. And employers and employee having a common objective in terms of their goals, they are absolutely okay to work from anywhere and give those desired results. So these are certain things which are actually impacting us, and these are going to be a part and parcel. Flexibility will be required for the employees to work from anywhere. In terms of technology which is supporting us, right? Even though you are on travel, even though you are moving around, technology gives us that platform to get connected and deliver the work what we are thinking around. So this is very important. How many of you sit on height adjustable table? Please raise the hands. Yeah. Okay. So from well-being aspect, always look forward for certain sit to stand options where you feel more comfortable in terms of doing the work. If any of you haven't seen, please look at our stall, which has an option of a motorized height adjustable table where you feel more agile, active to actually contribute to the work. This is very important. In terms of different generations coming in, they have different ways of working around. Like my kid, he doesn't, interact much. He's a teenager. He says, "Papa, text me. I'll reply." There are different ways the new generation actually interacts. The same holds good at the office, where we need to take into account how they have been working around. So if you're looking at beautiful places which inspire employees to make them more productive, think about an area what you want, and Featherlight can give you those kind of solutions, whether it is a meeting space, whether it is private spaces where acoustic is taken into account, flexibility is taken into account. The real estate has to be swept in a good way, they leverage it perfectly. And in terms of learning space, here we are with the solution. So there are different aspects, cafeteria, different, areas in an office where we can help you in terms of creating beautiful ambient for the employees and make them more effective, more productive. So these are certain, clips, photos regarding it. And this is what I was mentioning, that Featherlight has two divisions. One is the furniture, the other is the developer. What you see here are the clients who have been supporting us for both the divisions from past so many years. Thank you so much. This is just an idea in terms of how we have been spread. We are there close to 70 locations in India. In APAC region also we support projects. And these are certain pictures of our factory which talks on sustainability aspects, which talks about how we generate power to run our factories. And in addition to this, there are certain goals which we have taken in terms of carbon reduction, in terms of CSR. So these are initiatives which we have been taking, and we are there in the business from last 60 years, being an Indian company headquartered in Bangalore and supporting these objectives. So the carbon net zero goal for us is 2040, and which entails scope 1, scope 2, scope 3. Any of you, when you travel to Bangalore, do let us know. We can actually have a tour of our factory to show how we have evolved over a period of time and how important it is for you all to know the sustainable practices which we have been imbibing over a period of time. So these are certain SDGs initiatives from our side. Sure. So this is just an idea in terms of how the workforce is. Greater than 30% workforce is actually the ladies who work at our factory. Visually challenged people who work with us at our chair factory. And these are certain glimpses of our property development, 5 lakh square feet, 6 lakh square feet in Chennai. This is coming up in Bangalore, in CBD area, Marathalli. And this is an upcoming project, 12 lakh square feet, close to Bangalore International Airport. As the time is short, there is just one particular video of mine which talks about the corporate office at Bangalore. Please have a look at it. Thank you so much for your time, and do feel free to get into our stall to have more insights. And do not forget to leave your visiting card for the lucky draw, which we are going to announce here. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Satish. Now moving to the last session of the day, which is the panel discussion, which is on the topic of aligning workplace design with operations and the principle of circular economy. And to moderate this panel, I have this brilliant professional and an individual who has made sustainability as a core of her professional principles. To moderate this panel, we have Ms. Nisha JB, who is a seasoned corporate real estate professional with over 18 years of experience. As a senior director at JLL, she leads sustainability initiatives for corporate occupiers across India. And is a person who is deeply passionate about climate change, and she partners with clients to embed sustainability to most of their real estate strategies. With that, I'm going to invite each of the panel speakers who are here on this panel to join her for this panel discussion. We have Mr. Amit Kate, who is the divisional manager for real estate with Bajaj Auto. We also have Dakshayani Singh, who is the regional head for Pune at Edifice Consultants. Also joining them is Major Kiran Kudlinger, who is a site leader for corporate real estate and administration at Allstate. With them is Manish Pashi, who is the business head for professional lighting at Havells India. Architect Rahul Kadam, who is leading the NGK studio. And finally, Vinayak Sani, who is the co-owner for Abhyanta Consulting Engineers. I'm going to call each of my speakers and members on stage, and I'm going to hand it over quickly to Manisha to take it forward. A round of applause, everyone, for them and good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Okay, let's hope it stays this way. It's always difficult to have a discussion or any panel just near any time nearing food, whether it's lunch or whether it's dinner. So first, thanks a lot for sitting back for this panel. We are taking off from where the earlier panel concluded. They concluded somewhere near sustainability, and we're taking off from there. The idea is to see how do we, where does circularity fall in the whole scheme of things, right? So today workplaces are totally different, both from a user perspective, both from usage perspective and functionality perspective. That's something that we've heard in the earlier panel. We are actually in a system which is more linear in nature, right? We are in a take, make, waste cycle today. We take from nature, we make some products, end of life, we discard the material, cause pollution. That's the cycle that we are in. And when we're talking about circularity, it is how do we create a closed loop for all the resources that are being utilized, and how successfully can we close a loop while there are challenges and opportunities, which is what we're going to explore today with the entire team. The idea is to relook the entire process at every stage, right from the design stage, from the implementation stage, and of course from the operation stage. So here we've got a esteemed set of panelists from who are architects, who are designers, who are corporate leaders, and people from the facility management team. We are just sort of run through some of the concepts, rather not concepts, the challenges and opportunities around the topic that we're talking here, aligning workplace design with operations and principles of circular economy. I'll probably just start with Dakshayani. probably going to use this one here. We have Darshan here in the end. So one of the biggest challenges, which is when you talk about circularity, it actually starts from the design stage. What happens at design and how do we conceive the design to incorporate circularity principles right from the get-go? So when you're really looking at designing a project, how exactly do you prioritize circularity first, and then how do you incorporate them in designs? What is your outlook and take on that?
The approach to sustainability is increasingly being shaped by this principle of circular economy. And when it comes to architecture, I think there are 3-4 aspects that we look at. One, I think, is modularity in design. Second is materiality, sourcing of the materials. Third being probably repurposing or having multi-purpose spaces. Fourth being tools that we use for that kind of aid this approach. So when I speak of modularity in design, probably prefabricated modules or steel structures that kind of can replace the conventional RCC structures is something that we can look at, not bolted structures. I think the metro work that is currently going on is a great example of how prefabricated modules are being used. When I'm talking about repurposing or giving multi-purpose spaces, we had designed one project in Washington, which is in the outskirts of Mumbai, and we kind of used the rock that we got from the excavation sites to build the foundational walls, and the residual stones and pieces were used in wall panelings, making designer elements out of this. So we kind of try to source the material in that same place from the same plot and area. So that's the intent that we had. Then when I speak about, I think, repurposing another project, I think in Bellary near Hampi, the brief that we had got from the client was to break down an old factory shed and build a R&D center over there. So our team had gone there with the intent of surveying the area and having a look at the site. But when we saw that space and when we saw the factory shed, we saw a lot of potential in that space and kind of convinced the clients that let's not get the structure down. We of course had a few enhancements that we did to that structure. And we have a state-of-the-art R&D building over there within that same structure today. So kind of repurposing the functionality of an existing space if it comes to that. Tools like being, get help, get your wastage to a minimum, get, precision in your drawings, etc. When it comes to interiors or workplaces, I think there is a slight overlap. When it comes to materials, I think partnering with the right vendors who have the same goals as sustainability, having the same lead goals helps. Plus, I think having timeless designs where you design spaces that are probably multifunctional, that are flexi, that are adaptable. Then I think it is very, very, very important to have sustainable consultants onboarded if you have to achieve those goals, because I think they are the champions of all of this. They are subject matters experts in circularity. So again, I'm very proud to be associated with one project that we recently completed. It is the first true certified project in India for fit outs, where we recycle 99% of the construction waste. So I mean, things like that, when the intent is in the right place, I think, the concept with this intent is where we start. So of course, I mean, the clients have to have that alignment to that as well. So I think that's it. It's a long way to go, but I think we can take sure and definite steps. That's it.
Thanks, Darshani. I think that kind of sets tone for the next question that we want to discuss. Rahul, coming to you on this. One of the biggest challenges when we talk about circularity is number one, getting
or doing a mindset shift that everything has to get relooked in the project cycle, right? So from that perspective, what are your thoughts? And then of course, other elements in terms of cost, timeline, risk, supply chain challenges and all of that. So how do you kind of weave all that in when you get into the implementation stage?
Hello, yeah. Am I audible? So good evening to all of you. It's a very relevant question you've asked because the vitamin N starts there. So for me, in the last 10 years, a big part of the job as the project architect has been to lead the team and getting all stakeholders on the same page when it comes to concept of circularity and sustainability. So in the last 11 years, we've been fortunate to do at least 4 or 5 projects on the brownfield side of things where we have repurposed and actively reused old properties built in the 60s and 70s, some of which have been done for my client Bajaj Auto and some for Enron. And we found that just by simple design principles of retaining water, which even Dakshani touched on, we've been able to save 700 to 800 rupees per square feet, which is almost, 18 to 20% of the capital expenditure that a project has. We have looked at new construction. On the greenfield projects, it gets further intense because you have a capex and an opex. And now even clients are talking about life cycle costs. So we've actually got just by using these principles on circularity, sustainability, saving 12% cost on capex. And on the operational expenditure, almost 35%. So cumulatively, will be anything between 45 to 50% savings are possible. Just to give you 2 quick examples, reusing the hard rock minimum for soling, retaining walls or plumb concrete straight away saves 60 to 100 rupees per square feet construction cost. Using earth blocks or exposed brick blocks and a simple thing like a rat trap bond, which Dory Baker invented, we've been able to manage 6 to 8 degrees of temperature reduction in the indoors. So the air conditioning has to work that much less. But all these strategies have to be adopted right from the first sketch that is drawn, the line that is drawn. And it's a teamwork where the clients, consultants, the project managers, the contractors, everybody has to, be on the same page. And it can be done very effectively in the given timelines and can save us. You cannot have a strategy which is an afterthought and cosmetize the whole thing. It has to have a holistic approach.
Thanks. So basically, we start off with design, we operate it through the process of, whether it's material selection, whether how do I use what's already available on site. So on that note, when I coming to you, where and how does technology really work or integrate into the MEP aspect to kind of build and flow in the circularity principles into the entire project?
Thank you. As Rahul said, we incidentally put it in. As you say, all designs have decided when the services are done. What happens is the designs are done, everything is on paper, and they say, okay, MEP consultants, write the charts, write the logs, write the services, match it up, which is very easy. So you decide what you want, when you want it, and what is up. The intent is easy. There's a lot many things. Thank you for sustainability. Today we talk about it, we talk about AI, of measurements, sensors, everything is proprietary. Get them integrated on platform. It's very important. And as I said, right time when you're in a project. So architects, consultants, owners have to be on the same page with the start. And it's very, very difficult to incorporate all of this at the latest stages because it's a cost and everything in the electrical services and the energy, the cost is very less. You budget it, the services get the least amount of cost. That's very difficult to achieve.
So again, it has to be done in the beginning. There's nothing like an afterthought in circularity. You just have to start at it from the get-go. So Munish, I'll just come to you on now. When we're talking about we were talking about lighting some time back. Um, there is a certain level of capex which is incurred for lighting, which is between 4 to 6% of any project cost, and the operational spend is anywhere between 15 to 18%. That's what you mentioned. Now, considering these two elements and lighting being something which is on continuous use just after air conditioning, so to say, how do you really bring in circularity from both a occupier perspective, like a corporate occupier perspective, and also as a manufacturer, how are you bringing it into your entire cycle?
Thanks, Manisha. I think it's an, it's always, we heard a lot of panelists kind of challenges and kind of headwinds we have when you want to drive circularity right from mindset and actually how to do it. And every challenge opens up opportunities, and especially for OEMs like us, it's an exciting thing which really comes when you are probably followed together with people like people like on the panel. So from the perspective of circularity, I think go back to the two key things, which is in terms of how do we make sure the reusability of the product goes up. I think that's the core which gets into this product design. I think we follow this process of circular product design. And when I say reuse of the same product, I think there are two elements which are being important to it. Make sure that we have a reusable product. I think the first aspect of the circular product design, which we follow and most of the industry follows, is to make sure that you have a product which can have a very long useful life. So longevity of the offer is to be built. So in terms of what materials you use, the construction, the mountings, everything has to be reliable so that you have a long life. Second thing, specifically to lighting, lighting, the light source is something which actually ages and has a finite life. So how do we really make sure that it's reused? So how do we add repairability to the light? So build the luminaires or light fixtures in a modular method wherein after these LEDs have lived their life, they can be easily replaced with a new module, maybe 4 years, 5 years down the line. So as a result, you don't have to, are switching from a use and throw product to something in which the light sources can be used and be kind of repurposed and be refurbished, and you have a longer life. And there are a lot of, I think, with LEDs taking over lighting in the last 12 years, we have seen a lot of customers in the corporates, large offices which are set up, opted after 5 to 6 years a model in which they refurbish their lights with new lighting, new drivers, and elongated the light. So that is how the whole concept of circularity really works. And so for us, it is key that the products which under the cycle of circular product design, we follow the products modular, so that the LED modules and everything is easily changeable at site. You need not be taken to the first block in an as is installed condition, you can change it. And second thing is to make sure that the material used have prolonged life, especially things like the diffusers, the mounting arrangements, they can stay longer. So I think that is from a product perspective we bring in. We heard about the kind of challenges and in the running situation also we really want to make sure that upgraded or kind of elongated things. So the product designs does really take care of all those kind of things.
So the second you're mentioning from a design stage, you build the modularity and then you use the modularity to repurpose and extend the life of the resource, so to say.
That is how it happens on the lighting fixture part of it. We also spoke about sustainability, so for people will make sure that elements are also added up to the luminaires to make sure that we are able to address those kind of elements when we look at overall similar working in the office environment.
So I'm coming to you. We discussed about your the content chartering from a end user on campus perspective. How did your Bajaj Auto's climate ethos kind of blend into, and how did you see circularity in action when you actually built the space?
Thanks, Manisha. So our climatic strategies are effectively aligned with circularity principles, prioritizing the sustainability and resource efficient approach. So it all begins from the design and then integrating well with the implementation of the execution part. Take forward what Rahul said, three simple strategies that we adopted. Like selection of the material. Basic material like brick. So we had selected hollow brick, and our entire buildings, the outer periphery walls are made out of lateral. So here we had actually went on to save like 22% in the material cost. So timber bricks, less of water, no glass, no PVC. It also enhanced the thermal insulation properties. Like Rob said, 6%, 6 degrees of temperature variation in the temperature. Aesthetic appeal is also. In terms of reusability, we had maximized the potential of reusing the material. Like whatever rock that was extracted from the land development, we had put up on-site crushers, segregated the box into different threads, and used into the backfilling. Most of our retaining walls are 3 meters height, were replaced with gable walls. The gradient slopes were replaced with pitching for these concrete linings. So these were the measures taken in terms of cleaning and water efficiency. Manufacturing layouts were made in such a way that there is more exposure to the sunlight. Currently, we are installing 0.2 megawatt solar panels, which are electric out of it. 70 to 75% of our rainwater are being harvested from the forest. And at the end of the year, we are making more out surplus, which we use for irrigation and for the other. So these are some principles we have adopted in a new chopping plant. So it's led us to the next look at us.
That's great. So now we see there is a possibility and a real life case study of converting design to action based on what we discussed. This PMS system, right? Okay. So now we've kind of gone through one part of what we were like. If we design it right with circularity in the center of the conversation, things work. I want to go to Kiran to understand from a occupier end user perspective, how and what are the challenges that you see when you try to incorporate circularity into office spaces, and more importantly, how do you justify vitamin M to your finance teams on the ROI?
Good evening. Thank you. Very thought-provoking question. What I feel is the biggest barrier for adopting circular design workplaces: fragmentation between design intent, operational accountability, and business performance metrics. I would like to explain with 2 or 3 drivers that I feel contribute to this. The first one, I feel misalignment between design and business KPI. What I mean is, typically in circularity, when you're looking about reusability of material, adaptable layouts, or modular furniture, often get deprioritized with ROI framework, which is linear in nature. And typically, the CFO will come, and the first question that they will ask is, what is your payback period? Instead of asking, what is the life cycle value? I think this is one of the biggest deterrent. If I have to give an example, modular flooring or demountable partitions typically have got a higher upfront cost. People don't consider, or the finance doesn't consider, the value of maybe 80% of materials can be repurposed and can be used for future retrofit. Mostly, this is what I've seen in a small experience that I had. Unfortunately,
occupiers or organizations, while budgeting, don't consider the TCO, total cost of ownership. That's one of the biggest aspect that I feel. The second pointer would be lack of data and performance measures. So circular economy demands data embodied carbon, reusable ratio, material governance. Most of the occupiers or users don't have auditable measures or tools to measure it yet. The moment you don't have any metrics, it's very difficult for you to manage or justify. This acts like a biggest deterrent. A classic example, typically if you're looking at multi-tenant premises or big mining spaces, the occupier designer are separate from the end users who derive those benefits. And that's where it becomes difficult to implement central infrastructure where you can use central waste receipts or maybe grey water systems. Again, like my co-panel spoke about the third point about supplier constraints. Even a well-managed occupier finds it difficult to source locally reusable, non-toxic, certified, regenerative material. That's the biggest challenge. I can give an example. When we were doing a project, we were thinking about getting a reclaimed wood. We wanted to get it from the same state, Maharashtra. What we discovered is we didn't get the certificate. Secondly, the lead times are very unpredictable. Owing to it, the POO has to think multiple times. Should we continue with that or should we scrap that? The fourth from end users, what I feel is most important is behavioral and cultural change. Even if an office is circularly beautifully designed, and if end user is not sensitized to use it, the system collapses. Again, I like to quote our own example. We are in a beautiful office with smart, segregated waste zones created, and within like 3 months, those become a generic term. We didn't onboard our operation team. We didn't nudge our employees through signage or gamification to utilize that. So I feel these 3 or 4 barriers that are on top of mind. Your second question was ROI. Yeah, so for ROI, I think there are 3 things we should, again, I covered that in my first point. We should consider the residual value. What I mean is, today there is leasing that happens. We should look at modern furniture which can be reconfigured instead of looking for fixed furniture that can be discarded. Secondly, I think we should go ahead with flexible premium options. Agile spaces built on circular have got a lower churn cost, and that can be utilized for scaling up and scaling down. The third one is integrating the ESG metric in ROI. Typically, countries, again, India is also doing that, but typically the countries look at the building which has got repurposed furniture and all, they get extra lead points, which might be points. In fact, in our Singapore office, we use refurbished workstations and lights, which saved like 15% of our capex cost, which gave us 2 lead points, which integrated with our ESG linked financial goal. I think this is the best example of circularity getting aligned with business. Circularity is not a trade-off. That's a transformation. We should not be thinking about whether we can afford to do it. We should be thinking about how can we do that. If we start implementing this, then we won't. I won't say we are future ready, but I feel we will be future resilient.
Future resilient. That's an interesting. Rather, that's the core ethos behind circularity. How do we create resilience for all the resources that we are seeing? So when I'm coming back to you purely from a technology perspective, I think one of the things that we did discuss was BIM has become like a baseline for almost all developments today. So how is that really complementing in the entire circularity journey? Design perspective?
Technology is actually a good take forward decision in it. But what happens is, what he said is measurable. You have sensors, you have like evacuation plans, we refurbish the entire thing, we use what is the budget that we use, the fire evacuation strategies. But to do that, the best of this move from AutoCAD to BIM and digital. What happens is you actually create a soft simulation of the entire premises. You work on it, you create what are the problems there, and then implement. That reduces a lot of your mistake. Every mistake can be measured. The sensors are available, every platform is available. Movement is available, you can track the people, you can even evacuation is very necessary. Using these tools and the technology, you can actually plan out what is the amount of time taken by the people to evacuate. Like somebody says 10,000 people, how to evacuate? There is a norm. I said 7 seconds, 15 seconds. I have to be there. How do you do that? It's a soft simulation that you do everything. You create the entire structure. But then plan has to be ready. What happens? There are so many changes that happen. Every time you make a change and put that into build, is always a So those could be mapped. I can use a VR. I can use a VR technology. I can actually map it out. Actually, I can run a premise. We have a walkthrough, right? The walkthrough is something similar can be integrated to a digital. I can run the entire premises in I can create hotspots. If there is a fire, I can dedicate and say, okay, this is the place that there is a fire. And how do I evacuate people here? Now there are norms that say, okay, if there is a fire, I take 2 floors up, 1 floor down. I can really actually do that. You have to create that scenario. So everything that you said is mapped. Now, for example, there was a study I was looking into. It says the furniture that was used again has lesser MTBF for fire than the new furniture. It catches fire faster than the old furniture because the old properties which is there had the fire system property, not the one which is played with chemicals. So when you talk about circularity, this is also very key. Now evacuation plan, how to move people away from the case of a problem. And there's a free movement now, as access control they must be talking about today. What is the head count that I need to measure? It is very important to measure the head count within the premises. And that is all integrated. That could be actually done. All the sensors integrated on one platform, created that into a stock simulation, and then go and the building strategy would be a fantastic solution because you could save a lot of money in cost.
I think we've discussed about the hardscape of things, about from a building and built space perspective. Coming back to the actual users of the space and nature per se, I think all of us have again discussed on this. Darshani, coming to you, how exactly how can you incorporate nature into the entire process when you're designing for circularity? I mean, do you look at avenues like tactical urbanism or any of those when you're incorporating and creating those designs?
I think tactical urbanism is a lot to do more with the city or larger scale. But when it comes to workspaces, yes, I mean, plants and biophilia is something that we all can be speaking about. But I think solar is something that we really need to kind of arrest and look at buildings or ways that we can use this energy. So I'm answering your question with an example. We've designed the building for Ministry of Renewable Energy. It's called the Atal Akshaya Urja Bhavan in Delhi. And it's a net positive building. So the entire roof of that building and one complete facade are solar panels. So whatever energy is being consumed in that building is being given back to the grid. So I mean that's how we've kind of arrested nature in our designs, and that's how we've kind of got the circularity in the design.
That's what you've done. So now coming to you, delivered in your working forest for one of your clients. Two questions on that. One is, how has it impacted the user experience? Like we all talk about, workspaces impact productivity, open workspaces bring biophilia in. and then there are a host of statistics, productivity increased by 20%, 30% and all that. So how does that really work, and how has it impacted not only the user, but from how you utilize the material of that particular ecosystem where you built it? Can you just share light on that?
So this is a project we implemented in Airpro Business Park at Chinchwad, where 30,000 square feet of open space was actually toxic land. It was open space, but it was a dump yard for cement and all that. And we actually rejuvenated an industrial park into a corporate park. So I told the client that there is no open space. Just showing open space on the municipal plan is not open space. So he said, can you show me examples of where this is being done? So I showed them the campus done by Norman Foster for Apple and showed the Apple Park, which of course has a 42-acre garden, and we had just 30,000 square feet. But that kind of resonated because we had beautiful Ashoka trees in that 30,000 square feet lot, which we saved. We cleaned up the topsoil because the topsoil had toxic cementitious waste dumped out the construction base. And it took 3 years because we lost 6 months because of COVID. We made that entire land into an urban forest. We worked very closely with the landscape architects and the irrigation engineers and the service consultants. And we actually created pathways out of waste with percolation, chips, stone chips. So the land actually started getting recharged. And in 3 years, the birds, butterflies, bees were back. There was an ecosystem. And suddenly you had office people working in that campus, using that space as an outdoor collaborative space. So it started becoming an outdoor space for collaborative work, home creation. Yeah. And the rent went up, but our fees didn't go up. So the rent suddenly shot up because they started seeing value in what was being offered. And it's just completely changed the climate of the space. So I would say, it's just repurposing of land and circularity of materials that we use. Even the plant culture that was selected was such that it adapts to the changing hot dry climate. So, too much sun also can spoil plants. We use bamboo, grasses like bamboo, which can be regrown, cut, and reused. So the bamboo can be reused for furniture and so on. And it's been a wonderful experience. So, but it needs a lot of faith from your client too. I think everything, sometimes in India, examples from abroad work, so they love what Norman Foster had done and that image kind of played off.
So Amit, coming to you, you've done something similar, not exactly a forest in your campus. So how is the experience for users in that space? Because it's not truly a forest, but you did mention about having a lot of open biofeeding aspects where there is an in-out happening for users of the space, office in and office out.
So there has been a case studies where few of my department heads have literally told us there has been an increase in the productivity of the employees. Whenever whenever close to nature. There are provisions where we have open meetings set up into the landscapes. And the landscape are being integrated in terms of outer space and as well as the interior space. So employees have a walk from the interior space to the outer space, having no feel like they're moving into some other space altogether. So there has been a couple of cases in our campuses. We have also developed the Miyawaki forest campus in Pune, which is doing very well. Employees are loving it, and they are actually able to go into the ecosystem where they can, there are a number of routes are being planted. They can, there are birds which are coming in. Then, the space literally living up right now. So yeah, there is a effect to it.
It's not just a walkway that is getting created, but actually functional usable space.
Yeah.
Which doubles up as a workspace also for the users.
Definitely.
I'm just giving the queue on time, but I just have one last question for all of you here. If everyone who's listening to this has to take just one actionable point which they can take back in terms of implementing circularity based on your experience, any one sentence takeaway for everyone. Thanks.
Sustainability, yes, it's measured, but you have to get that in there.
As a client, I would say there has to be mindset. We need to prepare for that. And yes, sustainability, reusability, recycle should be on agenda for every project.
Say, retain what you have. And in all actions, be sensitive, be in synergy with nature, and be sustainable at a holistic level.
Yeah, we did discuss about the whole concept of business KPIs and what you kind of really get out of circularity. But I do believe that circularity is highly measurable and it is quantifiable and can be converted into real-time money. So I think the businesses, the finance fraternity, the project owners really need to look at it and really value it. And a lot of times, lot of circularity related stuff. We're talking about the bio. Okay, into workplaces. There are a lot of elements like security, lighting, vitamin D, information. So all those things can be quantified, and I think there's a lot of, I would say, tangible commercial value in those, which needs to be brought back in business cases while we are taking decisions. I think once we start doing it, it becomes all the more important. We have seen right now there is no regulation around it, but we have seen the moment regulation comes in, all these things suddenly become quantifiable, and accountants do take large time. Till the time they still become a thought-provoking thing, they become discussions. But the moment it is regulated, it's it is immediately it gets regulated, and we have seen circularity in a lot of the Western countries is being regulated, and it's driving as well as sustainability. And it's most of the European brands or their kind of Paris goals or their sustainability goals, they're much ahead of a lot of companies. I think I would like to be with these thoughts.
Sustainability is not a standalone option. It's a joint responsibility when designers, operation team, employees, culture aligns. Circularity becomes a daily durable habit and not a discipline.
I think all of us need to push ourselves to at least take one aspect out of all that we spoke about in every project that we do. I think we need to push ourselves to do that. Small steps, I think, will take us a long way.
So I think I don't see not much of a leeway for us to talk. I'm just going to wind up here. Thanks a lot, everyone, for joining us. We did have some more planned, but there are too many hands waving to kind of wind up. So we're just going to wrap up here. Thanks for joining us here. Thank you so much for being here and sharing the stage with us and sharing your knowledge with us. I'm going to quickly call on stage Captain Edwin Saldana, who is the managing director with Unidam, and Mr. Satish Kumar from Featherlight, to join us on stage to give us this moment to give you all a small token of appreciation for Anand for all of these insights that you've shared with us. If I can quickly call on ahead to just get a quick photo op, that would also be please capture. And I'll quickly hand over token. So please, Captain, if you can just go there that area. So starting with our moderator, we first start with she driving the entire discussion and the thoughts behind this plan, the topic.
भैया
So much. I'm going to request Mr. Satish and Captain to stay back on stage, and I'm going to request all the gentlemen and the panel members here for their time and their this. And I'm going to quickly call on stage Mr. Vibhor Srivastav and Indrajit Sauji. And also I'm going to request Mr. Shrey Dikshit and Sril Gaurav to come on stage for the short presentation. And I'm also going to call on stage Mr. Ashish Kumar from Unidam. We have a small token of appreciation for each of the presenting partners that were there with us on stage. Vibhor, if you can take the tokens from. I'm going to quickly hand over the mic to Vibhor to probably say a few words about what he thought.